So, Josh, what made you decide to want to live in a school bus?
Well, it all started back in the fall of 1999. And I was in Pennsylvania and I was living in my great aunt and uncle's Airstream trailer on the side of their house. And I was standing there and I realized, like, you know what? This is all I need. This is all I need. I thought that was pretty cool. And then flash forward years later, we had hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and we were backpacking, living in tents. And again, I found myself thinking, this is all I need. And I'd always been interested in the tiny house thing, and I've thought about little trailers, and Heather and I got together. We looked at the various options: tiny houses, campers, buses, and Airstreams. If we went with a trailer, we thought, we need something kind of vintage and cool, but they were kind of expensive, and you didn't have a lot of freedom, with layout and stuff. Tiny houses seemed cool, but they weren't super mobile, and they were actually kind of expensive for what they were, so we ended up deciding on the bus, and we could make it our way, and it was relatively economical. And I like living in a small space because you still feel connected to nature and the outdoors. If it's cold, we know it. If it's hot, we know it. I mean, we're relatively comfortable most of the time, but if it's windy, the bus shakes. I mean, you still know what's going on outside. I like that. I like that small. I've always told people that I'm a neat freak trapped in a slob's body. And I've always wanted to be neat and organized, but it's a challenge for me. But living in such a small space, it kind of forces me to, be a minimalist with my possessions, and I quickly realize my sloppiness here because it accumulates fast. So, I like that aspect of it as well, and I like the maintenance. I like the chores. I like to be a handyman and, work on things. So it's a good fit for me.
Yeah.
I like the lighting behind you.
Thanks.
You look like enlightened.
Ah.
Hey Heather, why do you want to live in a bus?
I wanted to live in a bus because I spent a lot of my 20s living with other people, hiking, doing certain outdoor jobs where you kind of left for a lot of the time, and it's always been impractical for me to rent a place or to buy a house or anything like that. And so when the idea to live in a tiny house or a bus came along, it just seemed very fitting to me that we could have something to come back to, a base camp, and something to build upon instead of starting over every time we got back from our big adventures. So this place to me is like a nest, somewhere to live, somewhere to be, somewhere to feel at home, and it's been perfect so far.
I worked construction for a while. I built a lot of houses, and the price of houses is crazy. And I thought, like, why would I want to spend my whole life paying for this thing that I know is not really worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars and me working for the rest of my life. I mean, we bought this bus for $2,700. We put about 15 grand into it, and now it's ours. We own it. I have a home, and I'm not going to spend the rest of my life working for it. So that's another reason why I want to live in a bus.